Thank you for coming to today's in-depth call. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about security rights, how they're used within the system, what they are, and a couple other different tips and tricks on how these security rights can be used within the system. What security rights are is they're different actions within the system that control what different employees can do. It's things like being able to give an employee access to do new orders, being able to do purchase orders, being able to post payments. Almost every action within the system is controlled by a different security right. What you can do to set an employee security level is, if you go up to Setup, Employee Setup, and then click on the employee that you want to mess with the right with, you just select them, and you can see where it says Edit User. There's a section that says Username, King, and then the security template that that user uses. So right now, I am set up as an administrator. If I click on Keith, he is set up as a sales security template. If I want to change that and give him a different template, what I can do is just click on the Edit User, look for the option that says Security Template Name, pull the option down, and select a different template for that user to use. Once I select it, I click on OK, and that user's security level is now changed. So let's take a look at what the different security levels are and some of the different options that you have when setting up those particular levels. That can be found under Setup, Security Setup. The security setup is the main control board for being able to set your different security rights for the different templates. There is a legend on the right side that explains what the different checkboxes mean, but we'll go through and run through what each of the checkboxes is. The green checkbox is just that. That means that the security right is allowed for that particular category or that particular right. A gray box means that this is a drill down particular level of rights. So there's more options under this option here. So I can expand the different options to see what different rights exist under there. And the gray box means that that level has multiple rights under there that have different types. So if the box was a checkbox, all the rights under that category are allowed. If the box is the deny symbol, then all the rights under there would be denied. Whereas if the box is a gray checkbox, then that means that there's different rights that are allowed and denied within that particular category. The question mark means that the right was never defined, so it doesn't know whether that right is allowed or denied. So what it does is it just denies that right by default. So the little red circle here with the cross, that is the deny symbol. That means that that right is denied to this particular security level. And then what the two boxes mean with the checkbox and the deny symbol in a box, that means that its symbol is being pulled from the standard. So if I was to change a standard, then the shared user, the advanced user box would change as well. Whereas right here, for production, if I was to change the right here for the estimate order history for the standard to allow, then the shared user, the advanced user would both change, whereas the production box would stay at denied. To change the security right, all you have to do is find the box that you want to change the right for, and then right-click. And that will give you the option to allow. If I right-click on the question mark, I can allow or deny. If I right-click on one of the ones that's not the standard, I can go say right-click, and I can say allow, deny, or use the standard level. So if I want to make it use the option that exists under the standard, I can use that option to set it to pull from the standard security level. If I want to add a new security template, so I want to make a template for a brand new employee that has a special instruction within the business, or somebody that has special rights that I don't want anyone else to have, but I don't want to make them an administrator, what I can do is click on the Add button here, enter a right for my new name, it does is it will clone the standard right and make a new right that I can then go through and set its own individual rights for, so I can make my own individual security right for an employee that uses the special access security level. And what we'll do now is there's hundreds of different security rights within the system, and going through each individual one would take more time than this call would be allowed for. But what we can do is we can go through the different top-level categories, because each category is correspondent with the different rights that it contains and the different actions that it will control. So the accounting level right, that controls things like being able to view the account register, being able to view financial reports, being able to do things within the system that have an accounting impact are found under the accounting security rights. The activity manager is the different rights that deal with the activity manager. So being able to create contact activities, being able to view calendars, being able to look at other employees' calendar activities and edit those particular activities are all controlled by the activity manager category. Company contact controls all the different security rights that deal with being able to edit a company, edit a contact, and viewing the information for each of those particular records. So if I take a look through there, I have the option to view financial information for a company as found here, being able to edit a company, create companies. All the different company and contact related security rights are found under that category. Course Home does not have anything, so we can skip that. Dashboard controls being able to edit, modify, view different instruments within the dashboard. So all your different dashboard options are controlled by the different dashboard security rights. Explorer deals with the different security rights for being able to view the different types of explorers. So I want to mess with the rights for what a person can view with the Order Explorer. I can mess with the View Order security rights. Same thing for viewing estimates. So all the different Explorer-based options are found under the Explorer section. General security rights are things that don't really fall into another category. These are actions that can be done within the system, things like being able to view the help box under the help menu, being able to view the about control option, being able to back up the database, being able to log in and log out. So a bunch of different rights that you do within the system that don't really fall under another category are just found under the general security rights options. GL is being able to create, clone, edit, and view different options within the system that deal with financial impacts. Related to that is journal entry, being able to create GL entries, being able to create journal entries, being able to edit journals. All that information is controlled by the journal entry security rights. Marketing Home are the security rights that deal with being able to mess with macros. Payment entry is the different security rights that deal with being able to post, void, and make payments within the system. Production Home deals with security rights for being able to post usage cards. Purchase orders, bills, and receiving documents deals with the different security rights that involve creating, changing the status of, editing, or making any changes to bills, purchase orders, or receiving documents within the system. Quick reports are security rights for being able to view the quick reports. The quick reports are typically used with the closeout option. So the best way to look at the quick reports options is, does the employee need to have the ability to go to quick reports and close the day reports? The setup security rights deal with all the options of the setup menu. So being able to go to system setup, being able to go to payroll setup, being able to go to pricing setup, all pricing setup. All the different setup options are controlled by the different options under the setup screen. Time clock deals with being able to clock in, clock out of the system, and being able to mess with the right-click menu to clock on and clock off of specific line items. That's controlled by the time clock security rights. And then the last set of security rights are transactions. So the transaction security rights deal with orders, service tickets, and estimates, and any rights that are related to those, being able to edit those jobs, being able to change the status, being able to change the station of any of those particular types of orders or estimates are controlled by all of the different transaction level security rights. One tip that you can know to help you find out what security rights you're looking for is in the bottom right of the box here. There is an Advanced button. If I click on that button, it brings up a new box for Advanced Security Setup. If I click on Enable Tracking and I try to do an option within the system, so let's click on Post Payments. And then I go back to my Security Setup box. What it does is it shows you all the different options that were controlled by selecting that particular action within the system. So it shows me that I have certain rights for being able to do pop-up reminders, post payments, make deposits. So a couple of different options appear here. Also, a couple of different options for just being able to go through, if I was to go down and look through the different menus, that would have also filled in security right box with different rights. So I can also clear it to start from scratch and then do another action to see what my next action is going to do. When you're done using the box trying to figure out the different rights for your different actions, make sure that you clear the box out and turn off the Enable Tracking. Otherwise, it will still track the action that you're doing in the background, and that could have the potential to the next time that you need to pull up the box, it will be cluttered with a lot of extra information. So do make sure that you turn those options off when you're done using this particular function within the system. The last thing that we want to cover is how security rights can be used for your different report menus. So by default, most employees can't see certain things like the financial reports and closeouts. They can't see the banking reports, and they can't see certain other reports that deal with the financial information. The question, though, is why can they not see that information? The reason is if I go to Setup, Reporting Setup, these different options are found under Reports on Main Menu and the different report options. If I click on Financial Reports and Closeouts, there is an option under here for security rights. That right there controls the different people that can see these particular menu options. So right now, only people that have the Print Financial Reports option can see the option for Financial Reports and Closeouts. A security right can be applied to an entire category, or it can be applied to a specific report inside of a category. If you hide the entire category, even if there's some reports inside of that category that do have the option to, that don't have a restricted security right, the employee still won't be able to print those reports because they are the entire category that is hidden to them. So if you want to not hide an entire category, you need to make sure that the top level security rights isn't something that's going to restrict the people that need to see certain reports in that category. So let's take a sales report as an example. So I want to restrict access to a specific option under the sales report. So if I click on Sales, right now there is no security right. And we don't want to restrict the entire access to this category, so I'm not going to do anything to the top level category. If I expand this, let's say I want to take away access to the More Sales Analysis. So I can click on the More Sales Analysis report category here. I can edit the category, and then I can pull down the security right and apply a security right to it. So it doesn't need to be just the Print Financial Report. That's just the most common security right that hides different reports from different employee security rights. So I can go and drill down this list here for Print Financial Reports, and I would select that option. And then once I save this, then only employees that have the security right enabled for printing financial reports would be able to see the category for More Sales Analysis. Also, instead of doing the drop-down, you also can click on the ellipse to have it mimic the security setup option for being able to make any changes to, for being able to make, to look for a specific security rights. And that is how security rights work within the system. So basically, you go through to an employee, you set the security template that they use, you go to Setup, Security Setup, and just drill down through the different security options that you're looking for. You can go through and just view the different rights that exist under each category. So you want to take a look and see what employees have under the setup menu. You just expand the setup security rights and just go through and take a look at the different security rights that you want to make sure that people do or do not have access to. And then lastly, you have the advanced button that has the enable tracking box to be able to help you search for certain security rights that control different actions within the system. And that's it. Thank you everyone for coming to this in-depth call, and I will hopefully see you all next week.